Hi everyone, I just wanted to show you a pod we just finished making that I think turned out really well, and this will give you an idea of your options if you wanted to pick a similar color scheme and apply it to a different pod, or you want to order the same pod but use different colors. What you're looking at here is our Louis Vuitton pod with two different filaments being utilized. The first filament, or we would say the primary, is a special type of filament. It's not one color, it's actually a continuous series of colors called a rainbow filament. And the name of this one is called Sunset Elixir. You can see that as we start printing with this, it's kind of a light purplish shade, and the more we print with it, the more it color shifts to purple until you get to the very top of the base of the pod, and then we see our secondary color. The secondary color typically is something we like to use as an accent on the top of the base. It is what's used on the graphic, on the lid, and we like to print our latches with it. This is kind of the Pet Pod's signature touch. Now that secondary color is called Dual Sunrise, and it's pretty fun as well because it's not just one color, it's technically two colors in the same line of plastic, in the same line of filament, and what you see depends on what direction the printer head is moving as it lays down that plastic. So in this case, the print head, when it's moving across the front of the pod, you see the yellow side of the filament, and when it's printing across the other side, you see more of a peach shade of it. So it's if you select Dual Sunrise, the color code is D6. For any pod, that's what happens. You only see part of the filament depending on which way it's moving. So if you like that effect across the whole case, then you would actually pick Dual Sunrise D6 as your primary filament. But if you wanted a rainbow, then you would pick that as your primary. In this case, the rainbow was Sunset Elixir, and the color code for that is RB18. Sorry, I'm throwing a lot of information at you because we have a ton of different ways for you to customize your filament. We have over 120 different types of filament in stock, including dual color, triple color, a lot of rainbow filaments, filaments with sparkles, filaments with all kinds of flecks of color in them. So check out our filament inventory to see a little bit more about that. This is what the base of it looks like. Now you see the most color shift on the base because that's where it's using the most filament, right? Inside are all the vial slots, and so that's why you would see the color shift there. The color shift doesn't happen on the lid as much because the lid just doesn't tend to use as much plastic. So what we do instead is we take that secondary color that you pick and we use that to reverse the color scheme on the inside of the lid. Again, another one of Pet Pod's signature touches. I'll show you one other pod that uses this exact same color selection, with the primary filament being the Sunset Elixir, the secondary be the Dual Sunrise, just to kind of see how it would look on a different style of pod and how we typically apply this color scheme. It doesn't have to be this way, but this is again our kind of signature touch. And there's one fun element on this pod that was not on the previous one, and that was an effect. This is an optional element you can choose to have, and that's choosing a build plate that the printer prints on and it transfers a light effect. Now, these photos do not do it justice. What happens is these hearts, and we have about 16 different effects, light beams, different patterns, circles and rings, all kinds of fun different effects, is the light refracts with them. So each heart has a series of hearts inset in it, and as you move the box, the light reflects off of these hearts in a kind of a different way, and it almost looks like it's moving. It looks like the heart has this kind of like motion to it. I wish I would have taken some video as well. My apologies for not doing that, but that's another option when you order those. So how would you do that? Well, the first thing that really helps is to know what pod do you want. Now we're doing some updates on the website, so some of these pages will be called have different names in the future, but right now I've called the Design a Pod page. Essentially, it's our model gallery. So once you know the pod you want, because we have quite a few different pods to select from, you just need to know the code there is what's the most helpful thing. And if you want to be in filtering by all of your options, you can select the primary thing you would like it to hold. So if you would like it to hold, say, let's say a 3 ml vial, you would select that, click filter. Now you'll see all of our pods that just hold 3 mLs and other things as well. We have a drawer system and a variety of other mixed use pods, but the ones that do hold 3 ml will be seen here. Now, if you want to order one of these pods using a primary and secondary color, you can do it right here on the page. You would select that pod, and then you would select if you wanted no effect, you would leave it textured. If you want light beams or any other effect, you would select that here. If you want to have another little signature pet pod touch, you can select the ridges that the latches connect to have its own little fun, unique design. Then you would pick your primary and secondary filament here. There's a variety of rainbow filaments, like I said, dual color, tricolor filaments, and you just select the ones you want as primary and secondary, and then that's how you would be able to purchase it. Now, if you want to have a specific graphic design, you can go to the designer graphics. That's where you find our Gucci, Louis Vuitton, all those types of pods. But then we also have a graphics page, and forgive me, we're updating the layout here, so this is not in the main menu, it's just on the home page. There's a graphics pod here where you can click to see some of your other graphic choices as well. Now, some of these you'd want to stick with the default, right? If you want to pick a sports team, or if your sports team is not here, email me and we will create your sports team design and apply it to whatever pod you want, and it will be available on this page. But if you wanted to pick the Louis Vuitton, like I was showing you before, you would select Louis Vuitton, and then you would select the pod size you wanted before, right? Because you know the code number. So once you pick the code, then it's a matter of picking effects and colors. So I hope that was helpful. Please reach out to us if you have any questions, or if you have any ideas for other designer graphic applications you would like. Each of these brands has a whole bunch. Like, we just created this beauty box based on a customer, the Gucci Beauty, based on a customer request, and we'd be happy to do that for you with anything else. You name it, sports teams, Ferrari, Lamborghini, a funny t-shirt, right? If you have a funny t-shirt you saw, reach out to us, let us know what that looks like, and we'll be happy to create it for you. Thanks, bye.